There's no way to deny it. Season 2 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic rocked. However, some episodes rocked more than others. That's why I compiled a list of the top and bottom of the season. The 5 best episodes and the 5 least good. I say least good because even the worst of Friendship is Magic is better than really the average of TV. Whether adult or kid shows, the worst is still better than a lot of others' best. I did set some ground rules going in, more or less one key rule. No two-parters. Season 2 had 2 amazing double-parter episodes. And quite frankly, it's not fair to compare them against the individual episodes. They had twice the time to develop their story. They had a lot more production value put into them. They had 2 amazing villains introduced that are currently dominating deviant art.
Whether I want us to be together, the truth is I don't care for him at all. No, I do not love the groom. In my heart there is no room, but I still want him to be all mine.
Though for the more anal viewers out there, just say they tied for top spot.
The full free press is a joke. No pony at this school takes it seriously.
Now, I know for many, this is really their favorite Kingdom Crusader episode, and I understand why. It's filled with a lot of funny shenanigans and heartfelt resolution, but it's held back by 3 flaws. And I also needed a 5th spot on here. Biggest problem with this episode is filled with plot holes. One being why Diamond Tiara performance as evil dictatorial editor, what would make Jameson proud, was one of the best performances all season.
I don't know what you call this, but it sure isn't news. We just thought, get something else on my desk by the end of the day, and it better be juicy.
That said, her final decision not to proofread the article or even give it a sideward glance is a below amateur mistake that she already was shown not making earlier in the episode. The other character that sort of disappoints this episode is Cheerly. I can understand Cheerly's goal to just leave the newspaper alone for the kids to work on. That's sort of her job. That said, you're supposed to sort of interfere when things are going wrong. You know, like blackmail, yellow journalism, abuse of executive power. There's really no excuse for her not to know that this paper is going a bad route. It's spread all across Ponyville and beyond. Cheerly, are you still upset about the love poisoning? This episode also suffers from a very strong case of been there, done that, even stronger than Avatar. This plotline of let's join the school newspaper, but oh no, we're spreading lies has been used to death. And it's just not really changed that much besides Diamond Tiara's phenomenal role as head editor.
No more namby-pamby stories like last year's editor. But namby-pamby was a great editor. Well, there's a new regime now.
My final really complaint about this episode is the Kingdom Crusaders aren't really that likable. I mean, they're understandable, relatable, but their actions aren't really admirable. I remember back in season 1, I hated Rarity. She was that annoying girly girl that all these series always seem to have. Then I watched Suited for Success. That episode helped redefine her character and really just rounded her out. It showed why she was the element of generosity. Problem is, Suited for Success sort of leaves big shoes to fill for any future character building episode for Rarity. Can Sweet and Elite fill those shoes? Well, yeah. Sweet and Elite follows Rarity's rise in Canterlot society, something she's been dreaming her whole life, where she becomes the toast of the ball, the girl in the flow, just play the song.
Becoming as popular can be. Making my mark in our society. I'm the belle of the ball, the star of the show. Yeah, I'm the type of pony every pony should know.
What makes this such an endearing episode besides the song is because Rarity's put in a very realistic situation. She has to choose between her old friends and the one she's been dreaming to have all her life and throughout the seasons. For a decision really to be powerful and memorable, it must be painful or at least tough for the character to choose. It makes it all the more memorable when she finally makes the right decision to stick with her friends even though it risks losing everything she's always dreamed of having.
They may not be as sophisticated as some of you Canterlot ponies, but they are my best friends, and they are without a doubt the most important ponies I know.
All that helps really cement why she is the element of generosity, while still being a drama queen. And also worth remembering is the other supporting cast. They really fill the roles of parting wrecking balls very well, while still being their same lovable characters. And Unsweetenly is a very well-rounded, enjoyable episode, which I could understand easily why any Rarity fan would put them right at the top. However, it does suffer from not really flaws, just holdbacks. One being it just sort of feels familiar. In the same way that Samurai Champloo sort of feels familiar to Cowboy Bebop. Both of these examples, they're quite different from their last predecessor, but they still feel familiar and they feel like they're in the shadow of their former selves. And also worth mentioning is it takes a while for the episode to really build up, and with Rarity more or less merry suing her way up to the top of Canterlot society.
Leave home without my party cannon.
I've just been visited by myself from the future.
I feel guilty placing Ponyville Confidential in the top least good episode list, but the rest of the list I feel they honestly deserve here. Starting with It's About Time. Coming into this episode, we have high expectations with Twilight Sparkle's Terminator-esque warning to herself from her future self. I mean, let's just not break it, that's a pretty awesome intro. But this episode never really lives up to the illusions that it's referencing. To get straight to the point, the moral of this episode is don't worry about tomorrow when you should just worry about today. It's a good, quaint message. However, it's not a message that needs the hype of a Terminator intro, Cerberus escaping Tartarus, and a Metal Gear Solid stealth mission to stop time itself. This episode by its structure sets itself up for disappointment. Twilight Sparkle's obsessive compulsiveness returns this episode, but instead of making her crazy, it more likes her stupid. She makes a lot of rash, idiotic decisions, just trying to stop the future disaster she knows nothing about. Such stupid decisions as trying to sneak into a library that you're always welcome to.
Understand? It's supposed to be right here. How are we supposed to find it now?
Maybe we should ask some pony in the Star Swirl the Bearded Wing.
Huh, I missed that.
Twilight Sparkle, you're smarter than this, and you've been crazier in a more entertaining way before. Not everything was bad about this episode. The references were good references, even if they were wasted. And Pinkie Pie being picked as a sidekick pony of this episode.
Time spells are kept in the Star Swirl the Bearded Wing, the most secure section of the archives. That's why we're sneaking around.
Awesome! That sounds fun!
No, it's not fun.
Aww.
She played a great contrasting straight man to crazy obsessive Twilight.
Now I can go back and tell past Twilight that she doesn't need to go berserk with worry about a disaster that's never gonna come.